Do 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 da da la 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 la.
Riding your motorcycle all year round can prove detrimental to the bike's condition and also be costly in repairs. Even with that aside, we all want our bikes to look good, and there's nothing worse than seeing your bike corrode further every day. With road salts and general dirt and grime, it's very important that your motorbike is protected against corrosion. Even if you only wish to store your bike for the winter months, a good clean and protect will help you. Firstly, you're going to want to get the bike nice and clean. It's very important that you use cold water because hot water will activate the pH content in the road salt that's currently in every nook and cranny over your motorcycle. Rinsing the bike off with just water is a good way to start. Then, use a vehicle shampoo mixed with cold water and sponge off every surface of the bike, working your way from top to bottom. It's worth noting that you should rinse the sponge in a different bucket with just water in, as this helps prevent contaminating your clean, soapy water. Whilst letting the bike soak, you can turn your attention to the chain, if the bike's chain driven. Using a chain brush like this, wash the chain through to get all of the grease and grime off. Don't worry, we will re-grease it later. You can also use various cleaning brushes to scrub your brake calipers, wheels, engine, and more. To finish the initial clean, rinse the bike with water to remove all the soap. For the next section, you'll need some or all of these products. Firstly, take the chamois cloth and wipe the bike dry. It's important to wet the chamois before starting this, as a dry chamois can scratch the paint. After the bike is completely dry, you're ready to start the fine detailing section of the clean. Use a fine bristle brush like this one to clean any corroded or hard to get at areas of the bike, for example the caliper bolts or engine parts. Be aware that you may scratch any painted surfaces with a brush. Another great product to use is Autoglim's Intensive Tar Remover. It works miracles on stuck-on dirt and grime. I use it to clean the front suspension legs, rear hugger and exhaust. For certain parts of the bike, it will be beneficial to remove them so as to clean them thoroughly. Remember, you only need to do this once every 12 months, so it's certainly worth the extra effort. I removed the exhaust end can to get the tar and dirt off. I used a heavy-duty degreaser first to remove the burnt-on mud. Rub it back with a dirty rag and get it as clean as possible before using some tar remover. This clearly shows how great this stuff is. The tar on the exhaust comes off with ease. Using a product such as Techniclean AS40, get any remaining dirt or water off your wheels and engine. Apply some to a rag and rub on by hand. You don't want to risk any overspray getting onto the brakes or tyres. Really take your time with the wheels and engine to get them as clean as possible. Using Scotch-Brite or a similar abrasive pad, carefully remove any existing corrosion, like on the brake disc rivets. I use a little bit of ACF50 onto the pad before very carefully applying it. Be aware of any runoff onto the discs, as they will be rendered almost useless with a product like ACF50 on them. Next, we're ready to apply ACF50 to the bike. Before you start using ACF50 or a similar anti-corrosion product, it's worth noting how it works and where you don't want it to be. ACF50 does a whole manner of things. It's a very good back to black, it lubricates, penetrates and protects, it diffuses the electrolytes in oxidization to stop existing and prevent future corrosion. It's very oily and that makes it incredibly slippery. You must not get it on anything like your discs, tyres, seats, foot peg rubbers, handlebar grips, etc. You don't want to put it on anything you wouldn't want to be slippery. Also, avoid spraying your screen as it can go smeary. With that aside, you're going to want to use a new paintbrush to apply the ACF50 to your bike's metal parts. Holding the can horizontally and lightly depressing the cap will squirt out a liquid rather than a spray. Aim this into the lid and dab the brush in. Coat every surface of your engine, exhaust headers, end can, switch gears, lever pivot points but not the actual levers, and your swing arm, etc. Get the underside of your foot pegs but not the tops. Use a rag and spray some ACF50 onto it. Use this very carefully to coat the wheels, but don't put too much on or it will run onto your tyres. Get any rusted parts with it, but also put some on the calipers, but don't spray them, use a rag. Continue with a rag to do the bodywork. Avoid the glass areas such as your lights. Another great product to use if you commute heavily through bad weather is duck oil. This sticks to the plastic parts better than ACF 50 and will collect dirt on top of your panels, making cleaning very easy. Get a good even coating on everything and leave it to dry. You can leave it for a few hours, or for best results, leave it overnight. Once the ACF 50 is totally dry, use a finishing cloth to polish the panels off. You don't need to polish the engine, as a good film here is fine. Rub your wheels down and your calipers and switch gears, etc. I use Autoglim's Fast Glass for the headlights, screen and mirrors. It removes any grease and also helps water to run off. Use multi-purpose grease in your wheel hubs to stop any corrosion, and don't forget to re-grease your bike chain. It's also worth using WD-40 to lubricate side stand springs, etc. With all the above done, your bike is ready for winter. Remember to test your brakes when riding it for the first time. Also, your bike will smoke when you first turn it on, as it heats the ACF 50. Heavily exposed areas will need topping up, such as the front of the bike and wheels. Washing the bike once a week will be sufficient. Don't use deep greases or heavy shampoos, as they will remove the protective coating.